Tell me you haven't actually read the OSHA guidelines regarding radial arm saws without telling me you haven't actually read them. Because now you're just making stuff up. There's absolutely nothing in the OSHA guidelines about the location of the dust port. I think if the dust port is coming off the front, you want to route it so that it doesn't blow you in the face. That makes sense, but it's not called out in the OSHA guidelines at all. And even if it is coming off the front, I've got this routed into a hose. It's not coming out in my face, and neither is the other one. That's also routed into a hose, so there's no problem there. And the whole idea of the trigger needing to be required to be on the handle, I don't think you understand half the jobs of a radial arm saw, because there are many jobs like ripping where you're not squeezing the handle when you're operating them. The switch shouldn't be on the handle for most of your operations. But the OSHA requirement about the on-off switch is not about putting the trigger on the handle. It's about making sure it's within reach of the operator. And these buttons on the front, they definitely are within reach of the operator. Not a problem. Button down here, that's within reach of the operator. Button on the wall right to the side or to the left, that's within reach of the operator. What's not within reach of the operator is when the switch is mounted way in the back on the wall. That's not allowed according to OSHA. It's not allowed for the switch to be some feet away from the machine. It has to be easily accessible by the operator. The old Rockwell machine from the 1970s or early 80s that was here before we got the original saw had a switch. I can't remember now where it was mounted. If it was mounted back there, it was probably mounted on the back of the wall because this storage rack for all the lumber wasn't here. If my memory serves me right, that was not compliant with OSHA. It can't be on the back wall. You can't have to reach past the machine to get to the switch. This is a 24-inch crosscut, so this has the table sticking out even more than the old Rockwell. I don't think the Rockwell had more than like a 14 or 18-inch crosscut. At that point, the table was shorter and you were able to reach there, but it's still reaching past the saw blade to get to the switch is not OSHA compliant. The machine I wanted to get, but it turned out that our local vendor couldn't get it. The importer that was supposed to import the Magi machine into the US couldn't get it, and couldn't get it for a year, and couldn't get it for a year and a half. And we finally just gave up on the Magi machine. But I really liked the Magi machine because it had a big mushroom push button emergency stop, or a big paddle. I don't remember which, but I like that big push button or big paddle emergency stop option on most of my big machines.